Hi there, and welcome to the Mindful Marathon podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Quirk, a run coach and pediatrician. Mindful Marathon is all about helping runners of all types to run their own race. Whether you are a seasoned runner or you're just getting started, I want to let you know that you're welcome here and that you're in the right place. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Today, I have a super special guest with me, a returning guest to the podcast, although she was on quite a long time ago. So it is high time that we brought her back. I am joined by my friend and fellow colleague in medicine, Dr. Funke Afolabi-Brown. She is a triple board certified sleep physician and the founder of Restful Sleep MD. She helps individuals prioritize sleep, achieve optimal health, thrive, and live to their fullest potential. As a busy physician and mom of two, she understands the impact of sleep deprivation on our mental, physical, and emotional health. And she has made it her mission to help others make sleep a priority, which is a mission I love. So, Dr. Funke, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Michelle. So good to see you.
Yes, you too. So, we are going to talk all about sleep for the runners.
I love it.
Yes. So I forget even when you were on the podcast a long time ago, we got into the importance of sleep, I think, in general. But now we're going to take a little bit of a deeper dive. Maybe tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us also where your practice is located, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a sleep medicine practice in Horsham, Pennsylvania. We see children and adults with sleep problems. We see them in person, we see them by telemedicine. And one of the things that I really have realized, even from my own personal journey, is that sleep is critical to every part of our functioning and for us to be able to reach our fullest potential. And regardless of the season of life, sleep is important. I have a background in pediatrics, and of course, we all know that kids spend a large amount of their day sleeping because it's important. It's important for their growth and development. But this need for sleep never changes, even as we evolve into adulthood, early and late adulthood. So this is really something that is becomes the foundation for my practice, where I'm looking at sleep across the lifespan. So this need we have for sleep doesn't end. And so I've been able to do this through my book, Beyond Tired, that I wrote for children with sleep issues, through my clinical practice, through my speaking, and really in so many ways.
Yes, and we know so your passion for sleep is also my passion for sleep that I pass on to all of my runners. So now they get to sample you in not in person, but audio and visual.
Yes, yes.
So maybe tell us why sleep is important for our recovery as very active individuals. Maybe we're not runners, but walkers, and if we're into fitness and exercise, why do we need sleep?
Yes. So sleep is important for that, for recovery. But that's whether you're running or not, right? Because there's so many processes. Most people think sleep is just this very passive experience you have
Yep.
from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. or whatever time you're in bed for. But sleep is actually a very active process. It's during sleep that you get memory consolidation, you get your a reset in your metabolism, hormones are released during certain stages of sleep. And you also, especially with the brain, you also during sleep are getting rid of certain waste products that accrue over the course of the day. So this is so critical for our emotion, stability, our immune system, energy levels, growth hormones. And so when you think about somebody who's active, either someone who is engaged in sports or goes to the gym, or they're just chasing their toddler around the house.
Yep.
Sleep is needed to be able to accomplish those things well. And I would say when I talk about the importance of sleep, I look at it from something that is so critical, right from the top of our heads all the way to the soles of our feet. When we think about the brain health, the mood regulation, the emotion regulation, the memory consolidation, our immune system, our metabolism, our heart function, that's also another critical one as well. We really start to see that sleep is actually very foundational.
Yeah, and I feel it's one of the things that we need to prioritize, but it's often the thing that gets pushed aside because so many things happen during the day and the evening, and the bedtime gets pushed back
Yeah.
a little bit. Like, we intend to go to bed early, but life happens or
Yeah.
we're scrolling, doom
Yeah.
scrolling, and
Yeah.
the phone doesn't go away when we plan for it to go away, and then next thing, it's later than planned, and we're cutting it short.
Mm.
How does cutting short our sleep affect our recovery and our performance maybe?
Yeah, great question. And I would say this is something that, you know, if you think about maybe high blood pressure, for instance, right? Or blood pressure,
Mhm.
you don't necessarily see it, but
Mm.
you know that you need to make sure that you're making healthy choices that would support a healthy blood pressure, right?
Yeah.
Exercise, fitness, diet, so also sleep to some degree. So cutting short on how here and an hour there may not make a glaring difference, but over time we start to see the accumulated effects. So specifically around recovery for runners, one of the things we know is there's a hormone called growth hormone that is released during sleep, released particularly during what we call deep sleep. Growth hormone is not just the hormone that makes us grow, i.e., our kids, right? If our children are not getting enough sleep, they would get a delay in the production of growth hormone and it might affect their growth and development. But as adults, we still need that growth hormone for muscle recovery and things like that. So when you are not getting enough sleep, it will impact your recovery in that way. It also, the other thing that we know is because of the importance of sleep on our cognitive function, our response time, our ability to react to maybe danger and things like that. When we don't get enough sleep, there's a delay in that process, the delay in
Mhm.
response time. So there is an actually higher risk of falls, of
Mm.
injury as well, in addition to poor and delayed recovery. Then the other piece I would say is with good sleep, we know that this is when your immune system essentially gets revamped.
Yes.
So if you do have an injury, if you have a cut or you're ill, maybe you got a little bit of a cold,
Mm.
there's a delay in recovery from that, which will delay your ability to get
Mm.
back on track in that sense. So many ways. Another one that, especially because I do speak to athletes who are maybe play team sports and things
Mhm.
like that, because of the impact of sleep on our emotional well-being, on our ability to show empathy, to perform well in a team, our ability to react appropriately, it actually impacts our ability to work in a team, to work in a community. So that team player who just kind of flies off the handle, who makes very rash, irrational
Mm.
decisions,
Mhm, mhm.
both in the office
Oh, yeah.
and on the field, poor sleep may be something that they have in common.
Yeah.
So there are
Wow.
many ways by which we really cannot afford to not get enough sleep.
No, so many things. A question came up from a couple of my runners. So I told them that I was going to talk to you. So I jotted down some questions, but one of them is about naps. So a lot of my runners do a long run or even a long bike ride on the weekend, and they often feel very exhausted afterward and they will take a nap. And I am always thinking about two things there. One is about fueling. Did we fuel it appropriately the night before and during and after? And then about sleep leading into it. Do naps negatively affect us for nighttime sleep? Or is it okay for us to be taking naps after a long run?
So here's the thing. That's an excellent question. One thing we know is for athletes, for people who are very active, they actually need more sleep for recovery because you're stretching, you're breaking those muscle fibers a little bit more, right? So you do need more sleep for recovery. So if we think about world athletes, for some, Usain Bolt, I think LeBron James, who also has shared about his sleep experience. Several of them, Mike Phelps at some point, they would tell you they sleep anywhere from sometimes up to 10 hours of sleep that they need. Again, because you've exerted yourself so much, so you need longer recovery. So absolutely naps are great. And this has been studied. Naps have been shown to improve cognitive function, to improve blood pressure, to improve your mood, your performance, and all of that. But the issue here is that we have different processes going on. Over the course of the day, we build our sleep drive. And so by evening, your sleep drive is high and your propensity to sleep is high. When you take a long nap or a late nap during the day, then that propensity to sleep reduces because it's almost like you just took some of that sleep drive and you dropped it. So that being said, if you need a nap, especially after you've done a strenuous workout, it's okay to take a nap. But my recommendation is that you nap a little bit earlier. So maybe before, if your bedtime is 10 p.m., you want to make sure maybe you have at least about 8 hours or so before the next time you get into bed. So if you're going to take a nap, maybe be done with the nap by 2 p.m. at the latest. And then the other piece is you do want to keep that nap short. You don't have to take a long 3-hour nap. Anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes is enough to just give you a little bit of that respite so that you can get through the rest of the day.
Okay, all right. I will have my husband listen to this episode because sometimes I am the one napping. So I love sleep and I love naps when possible. But yes, taking them on the earlier side of the afternoon is usually the goal.
Yeah.
And cutting it short because I would probably sleep for 3 hours if I didn't set my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay, now I wanted to go back to one other thing that you said earlier. We were talking a little bit about creating like a sleep debt, like an hour, going to bed an hour here, an hour there later, and you get into a bit of a sleep debt. I have runners who are struggling with the question of, okay, I didn't get very good sleep last night, and it's the end of the week. Let's just say it's Thursday night and I'm supposed to do my workout Friday morning, but I'm feeling very tired from the week. How do we choose, should I wake up early and get the run in, or should I sleep instead? And I feel like that question comes up a lot, and it's always a tough answer for me to, it depends on multiple factors, I think, but I would love to hear your opinion.
I love that question. And I think this is important. When we talk about the foundations of health, right? It's sleep, it's physical activity, it's nutrition, it's social connections. And you don't want to deprive yourself of one at the expense of another. So this is what I tell a lot of, because I work with a lot of women who are so busy, they don't have time for themselves. And the only time they get to the gym, they get to go to the gym is at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or some ungodly hour. And so because of that, they're short on sleep because they want to go into the gym. Now, understanding what we said about the importance of good sleep, preventing potential injuries, sleep is still foundational. So if you have a season in your life where you've been short on sleep, maybe once in a while, it's fine to just sleep in and maybe go to the gym earlier or go to the gym a little bit later. But you want to make sure this is not a pattern, right? If you're constantly, I'm somebody who only gets 5 to 6 hours of sleep and I want to be able to exercise, eventually your body keeps score,
It does.
right? Your body keeps score. It's like you want to make sure the gas tank is full and you're not running on fumes before you decide you want to take off on a long road trip. It's the same thing. So as you're making that decision, listen to your body. If you feel like you're tired, that may not be the best time to try to push yourself. No matter how much you hit the gas pedal to move forward, and if there's no gas in the tank, no matter how hard you push, you're still not going to go very far. So I think
Mhm.
that's hopefully that kind of answers that
Yes.
question. You have to still make sleep a priority. In fact, for some people, I've told them, well, kind of rearrange things a little bit to accommodate for sleep
Mhm.
so that it's not sleep that's suffering. This may look like setting boundaries. What's going on at night? Is there another time we could go to exercise or go for a run?
Mhm.
Are
Mhm.
there people that could help with things that you're doing at home so that you can get to bed earlier? You can start to get very creative with working around that.
Yeah, I like the metaphor of the gas tank and the gas pedal, and I think that for many of us, the default setting is just to keep our foot on the gas pedal until you learn, as you said, your body will keep the score. And at some point, there is a tipping point. And maybe when we were younger, we could get away with it a lot more than we can now. But some ways I rearrange things for runners, let's just say someone is running usually like 4 days a week, and maybe the other days are cross training or rest or strength or something like that. And if we have a week of bad sleep or stress or other things, maybe we only run 2 or 3 days and put it in favor of rest or something else that could be done in a shorter period of time to help sleep to become the priority. So there are ways you can rearrange it, and just the being a little bit more flexible with ourselves and not having this like all or none. That's it's
Yeah.
my clients are wonderful because we're very good at following a training plan, but sometimes at the expense of our energy levels and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. And I think it's just you start to ask, right? We both share a mentor that says, ask that question, how can I
Yeah.
achieve this differently? It's not all or none. The things
Yeah.
you can start to do that you could get creative with having time to get appropriate, sufficient rest and still having time to train.
Yes, I love it. And now, before I let you go, I have one sort of question, but they're bigger questions about people who have maybe sleep issues, like trouble falling asleep. People ask me a lot about should I take melatonin or how about magnesium, like all of these things. And yeah, but your thoughts on that? If people are having trouble falling asleep, I mean, I'm always asking about with my patients anyway, like blue light, phone,
Mm.
tablet, computer, TV. Start with that, turn that off an hour before
Mm.
you want to go to bed, and then let's talk after we make that change.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's right on point. So you want to first say, what are some environmental things that may be affecting my ability to fall asleep? That's important, right? If you're bathing in blue light, yeah, that's your answer. Or even if you have the night shift mode on your phone, but you're watching social media or listening to the news, all those things are very aggravating or very exciting, depending on the kind of things you're watching, and that can affect your sleep.
Yeah.
So you want to take care of those, make sure your bedroom is cool. Again, those very general things. And then when it comes to supplements, which is pretty much what I think most of your
Mhm.
clients would be asking about, it comes to the question of why, what's going on? Why
Mm.
am I having a hard time falling asleep? Is my mind racing?
Mm.
Am I worried about certain things? Do I have a medical condition like restless leg syndrome, which we can't see with a lot of athletes as well? Do we have micronutrient deficiencies like a low vitamin D or low magnesium, B12? So when you start to
Mhm.
ask yourself those questions, it will open up where the issue is, such that it's not just one size fits all.
Yeah.
So I have some people who may be that they just really tense and just really maybe a little bit more, I guess tense is the word before bed. Maybe it's a little, some magnesium glycinates, for instance, can help
Mm.
with promoting some relaxation and calming down the nervous system. So
Mhm.
that could be one. For melatonin, usually, especially if you have people who have what we call circadian rhythm issues. So there may be night owls, and so they want to go to bed at a certain time so that they can wake up in time in the morning to be able to
Mhm.
get their run in. Well, yeah, a low dose melatonin might be helpful, but that has to be paired with the right behaviors. You're minimizing exposure to the blue light, all of that. And then in the morning, maybe you're exposing yourself to as much bright light as possible,
Mhm.
again, to reset your circadian rhythm. So those things really start to matter. Some people would use over the counter sleep aids. Most of these whatever it is you're taking, whatever it is that's your supplement of choice,
Yeah, yeah.
you have to figure out, I think the question to ask is why? Why do I need it?
Mhm.
I can't sleep well. Why can't I sleep well? I'm very anxious. Okay, maybe we need to do some meditation. Maybe we need to do a little bit of journaling, some prayer. Maybe we need to do some stretches. You may be going to bed and you've not done appropriate stretches or things like that. So that way you don't feel like you're just throwing spaghetti
Yeah.
on the wall and hoping that something sticks.
Yeah, no, I love it, I love it. And then people will find their way to you.
Yes,
If you're really having
exactly.
a lot of trouble with your
Yeah.
sleep and having trouble with sleep hygiene and yeah, and
Mm.
all of these things, it's not one size fits all, as you said.
No. No, no. And I tell people I would be happy to help the entire world, but I can't,
Yeah.
depending again on where you're located.
Yeah.
But at least start off with these basics,
Yep.
right? Do a little experiment on yourself. Start off with these basics. Look at, okay, let me do a checklist. Am I on my phone or am I doing certain things? Okay, how do I first address those? And then maybe give yourself maybe 2 weeks or so. If you're still struggling, that may be the time to reach out and say, okay, I think we need to evaluate for an underlying sleep disorder.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's great. If you could leave us with like a sleep prescription for the runners, something for us to try to prioritize our sleep.
Mm.
Could you pick one thing about sleep that you want us to take away?
I would say specifically for runners, having a bedtime routine is critical
Mhm.
because there's the beauty of when you exercise, no matter what type of exercise or workout you're doing, it raises your core body temperature. It raises your heart rate and there's adrenaline surge. All those things are not necessarily sleep enhancing. They make you feel good, but they're not
Mhm.
sleep enhancing. So if you're someone, for instance, who maybe you exercised a little later in the day, well, you need to have a wind down routine.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it might be hard for you to fall asleep. So, whether it's to take a shower, do some journaling, some gratitude, just find 2 or 3 activities that are calming and relaxing and will lead in the direction of the bedroom. And that will help you fall asleep. The exercise piece is awesome because when you exercise, it actually enhances the quality of your sleep. But the issue now is how do we get to fall asleep when we're all just so revved up? So
Yeah.
that routine will help create that buffer zone to help you wind down.
Amazing. I love that. Thank you. Anything else you wanted to leave us with? I want you to tell everybody where they can find you and about your book.
Yes, yes. So excited to be here. Thank you for having me. I guess I did a pretty good job the last time for you to have me back.
Always.
I have a practice, and in addition to that, I also help people across multiple state lines. My practice is in Horsham. We're licensed in California, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. So if you have issues with sleep or you have a child with issues with sleep, feel free to reach out to us. The name of my practice is the Restful Sleep Place, and you could find our website and get on there. There are tons of blogs. There's a YouTube channel on there. There's so many resources that are on there. And we also offer a free 15-minute free consultation just to learn about your needs and then let you know, point you in the right direction. And then in addition to my book Beyond Tired, which was really focused on kids, we actually have a book that's coming out soon. It's a book focused on sleeping women in midlife because we realize that a lot of women in that stage of life, perimenopause and menopause, really are at a loss with their 3 a.m. wake ups. And so this is in spite of exercise, in spite of diet, in spite of all the things they've been told to do, they still struggle. And so this book is really going to answer the questions that many women that I see in my practice come to me saying, why can I not fall asleep? As well as the tools to help them get the sleep they need. So if you sign up for my newsletter, which you could find on my website, you will be the first to know when this book gets out.
Amazing. I can't wait for it. I will leave your website and the links in the show notes so everybody can go over there and get on Dr. Funke's email list. And yes, her vlogs are fabulous and there are tons and tons of free resources there for you to check out. So definitely check her out and we can't wait for the book.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for coming back and joining us again. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you next week. Thank you for listening today. If you enjoyed the episode, please share it with a friend. And if you have a moment, please rate and review the podcast so that we can reach and encourage others to tie on their sneakers and join us out there on a run. See you next time.